Release Veldora, then defeat Ludora. Those were my objectives and it's what I wanted to do, not just because Guy asked me to. Seal's birth had surprised me so much that, without anticipating it, I was back to my normal state of mind. My serenity had long since returned to me, but that didn't mean my anger was gone. That anger, I decided, I'd save until I could take it out on Emperor Ludora. But first things first. So how would I approach Veldora? Well, to start out, I was trying to talk to him. Talking about ruling over Veldora was easy enough, but we were dealing with a true dragon with gigantic amounts of energy. It must take an incredible effort. Taking over the will of a spiritual life form is one of the most difficult tasks I can think of, in fact. As I saw it, there were several types of subjugation like this. One was charm-based, you made the subject follow your will, heart and soul. Another was coercion-based, taking away their free will and forcing them to obey. A third was total domination, where the target wasn't even aware they were being subjugated. The list went on and on. Yuki carried out total domination on his subjects, but in Kiguli's case, it was more coercion-based and that was what Veldora was dealing with, too. This coercion could work on several levels as well. The target might retain their free will, but still be reluctantly forced to follow orders, or they may have their free will removed entirely, turning them into an unquestioning robot. It didn't seem to me like Kiguli had any free will left right now, but what about Veldora? Spiritual life forms all had incredibly strong wills, something that I didn't think could be erased so easily, so I decided it'd be worthwhile to try calling out to him. But Veldora's resistance was just too fierce. I assumed his orders were to eliminate the enemy, i.e., me, but he was just vicious, throwing all restraint out the window. Even with Seal handling Valgrind for me, Veldora alone was nonetheless proving a tough match. I still had my assorted storm-type skills on hand, so it was possible to cancel out his moves, but with the off-the-charts power he boasted, just doing that kept my hands full. We weren't really in a conversational mood, in other words. That was where we were at when I decided to let Seal defend for me. The control probability thing was tricky, but I trusted that Seal had a handle on it. Now the real work begins, I thought as I tried getting closer to Veldora. Gales of wind were flying around me, but my location was as calm as the eye of a hurricane. It was, really relieving. Everything from Veldora was being offset, and Seal wasn't even as frantic as I was a moment ago. It barely even touched my magicules and best of all, I was in incredibly good shape. Of course. The demons serving you have been sending you food chain-based support through their soul corridors. Oh, was it? It felt like I was getting stronger, but thanks to my other allies, I was holding my own against Veldora. Once I was aware of that, there was no way I could fail. After finally reaching a spot right in front of Veldora, I took the opportunity to call out to him. Sorry to keep you, Veldora. Do you recognize me? No reply. Well, he did let out a thunderstorm roar, but other than that, nothing. I lashed out at him with my first, unconsciously irritated. But, as anyone could have expected, it didn't stop him. The attack would have needed an element of magic force, not just physical, or else it'd never damage him much. But that was okay by me. My goal was to wake Veldora up, not kill him for now, I'd just give him a good beating instead. So I continued to hit Veldora in the face as hard as I could. I was actually too close range for much of his attack repertoire to work. A lot of spells and skills would wind up hitting him as well. Being controlled like this, he might keep whipping them out anyway without a care, but I figured Seal would take care of that. A punch. Another punch. Then a kick. But Veldora only roared in response. What do you think about using predation on Veldora and locking him in your complex space? A rather frightening suggestion from Seal, I thought. If that was a yes-no question, I was kinda leaning toward yes, but was something like that possible? Not a problem. Belzebuth is under my command, so if I receive the order, I can immediately put it into action. It's certainly dependable, I guess. It was funny to think that Belzebuth, Lord of Gluttony, this all-powerful ultimate skill, got its start way back with predation, a species-specific slime skill. Thanks to that, it couldn't have been better geared toward me. Handling it was always such a breeze. And now that Seal had further optimized it, I figured it'd work on Veldora as well. Now that I was a Demon Lord Slime, a Demon Slime, if you will, Belzebuth could be invoked from any part of my body. In fact, I didn't even need to make physical contact with my target any longer. It took on more power the closer I was to the other party, though, so now that I was in point-blank range of Veldora, I expected serious performance. Anyway, my mind was made up. Thanks for causing me all this trouble, Veldora. Quit making me worry about you all the time. As soon as I shouted it, I immediately tried devouring Veldora via Belzebuth. But then... Quahahahaha. Just a little mistake on my part. Forgive me. I heard a voice in my head I really shouldn't have been hearing. Veldora, right. Indeed, it is I, Veldora the Storm Dragon, your erstwhile ally. It couldn't have been a trap. He was acting like too much of a fool for it to be. That carefree voice, not a thought in his mind, it couldn't have been anyone else. Hey, so you're conscious? Yes. Actually, I detached my core as quickly as I could. I cannot physically speak, but I still have my wits about me. Aha! So he's there, alright. If Belzebub was working its way through his body, did that make telepathic communication through his heart possible? Either way, I was glad he was safe, but now I was angry for other reasons. So what are you waiting for, then? Regain control of your body. All that worry, and he was treating this like a day at the beach. Did he have any idea how much I was freaking out? I felt justified in complaining a bit about it. I would have done that long ago if I could. But listen to me, Rimuru. Don't you think you should calm down a bit and be a bit more careful? Like I needed him telling me. Besides, if I was gonna be calm about this, I wouldn't have done something as crazy as take on 2 true dragons at once. I didn't need anyone to point that out to me. Now that I was calmer, I was actually kind of impressed that I survived. But I couldn't have been too cautious back there. Nothing about dealing with true dragons was careful in the first place. But as I was thinking about this, Veldora was still cheerfully giving me advice. Oh, watch out for this, I'm about to break out some dark lightning. Stop providing color commentary like a sports broadcast. Even worse, he didn't launch dark lightning at all. It was death calling wind instead. Seal cancelled it out for me, and I'm pretty sure I could have dodged it anyway, but why the hell was he giving me fake advice? You call that lightning? That was death calling wind. It was about to kill me. My complaints were met with a half-chuckled excuse. Oh, sorry. Kwahahaha. It seems I've yet to gain a full grasp of my body. I can sense myself activating a skill well enough, but I can only identify it right about half the time. So he wasn't being helpful, then. My enemy had control probability, too, which meant it was likely safer to just ignore Veldora's predictions. Alright. You don't need to do that, so can you just shut up for me? It wouldn't be very funny if I trusted random nonsense from you at this critical moment, and it killed me, would it? I'm really disappointed in you. This made Veldora start panicking a bit. Wait, Rimuru, wait. I'm doing my best here. Let me help you a little. He was desperately arguing his case, but there wasn't much to back up his claims. I had to put reason first here, not emotion. Besides, I already had his cooperation. Just hearing Veldora's voice did a lot to ease my concerns. Well, I'm just happy you're alright. Veldora responded with his usual energetic laugh. Kwahahahaha. Of course I am. I'm the strongest of all dragons. Right. That was a relief. But then. Besides, it wasn't Ludora who cut off our soul corridor, but I myself. I have never truly lost in battle at all. Huh. What's this dude talking about? What do you mean? Oh, it's simple. When I was busy focusing on that man Kondo's attack, Ludora tried to assert control over me. I was furious about this, the 3 of them tackling me at once, my sister included. How truly unfair. But I wanted to avoid the worst case scenario, so I reluctantly made the decision to cut the corridor away. Sounds to me, Mr. Strong Dragon, that you were being a little careless there, weren't you? There's no such thing as fair or unfair on the battlefield. Stop acting like that was so noble of you. What the hell were you even doing? I've been constantly telling you never to let your guard down. Kwahahahaha. I never thought you'd be lecturing me under these circumstances. Veldora seemed to be enjoying this to no end. It was appalling. Appalling and pointless to tolerate any further, so I moved on. So the decision you made was to shut down our soul corridor. Indeed. I reasoned that Ludora's domination would have affected not only me, but you as well through the corridor. So he hurriedly turned it off to protect me. Well, if that's the story he gave me, I really couldn't be mad at him any longer. Alright. Great. Well, in that case, sit tight while I take care of this. Very well. I have not a worry in the world. Nice to be relied on like that. Right. I'll have you free in a moment, so hold out a bit. Kwahahahaha. How wonderful to hear. I will trust in that, my friend. So I knew what happened to Veldora. He had lost control over his own body, but his core was still intact. He didn't have the power to regain control at the moment, though, so I'd have to sort that out for him. I didn't expect problems if his core was alright, I could figure the rest out. Here was one idea. Seal, if we have Veldora's core in hand, would we be able to revive his ultimate ability Veldora, Lord of the Storm? Not a problem. All information related to the skill has been retained, so once a soul corridor is reconnected to Veldora's core, the ultimate ability can be restored. Well, that was easy. In short, all I had to do was consume Veldora in front of me and retrieve his core. Now I just had to make my move piece of cake. Okay, time to defeat this foe Veldora the Storm Dragon, the strongest in the land. And so on.